Hello. Hello.
Yes, Karthik.
Yeah, Karthik.
Okay. So last week we seen about user interface and along with the data model, and now we are completely focusing on processes. Processes is nothing but the flows, SLAs, and all other stuff which is coming under process. Before going to that, we will have some terminology to discuss. Okay, so can anybody talk about assignment? Okay, so assignment is nothing but there is a place where it's need like someone has to perform some actions to proceed further. So either it can be a user or it can be an automated system like background process. But whenever you are performing assignment, the case will be on your work list first. Okay, and what is a flow? So you all seen, you are widely used the flows in 6.2 version. Right now we are more focusing on the case type, stages, steps, and then flows. So it's so granular level for flows right now, and it has lot of shapes, and we are using the same shapes. And one thing which from 6.2 version there is no Visio. As you all seen, there is no Visio, and the process modeler is like much simpler now. You can easily drag and drop the shapes and all others. And can you tell me what is, there are different type of flows, right? What is straight through processing flow?
Karthik, no manual intervention.
Yeah. So in case if there is no manual intervention is not required, and then it has to go forward without any human intervention, and it's improve your efficiency. Take an example. Anybody worked on business rules engine project, BRE? So BRE is nothing but it's full of processing in the back end. There is no human intervention. It's automatically calculated and gives. Okay, NBA, next business action is like a backend engine only. Next best action, right? NBA. Anybody heard about that? NBA. Okay, so screen flows is like another way you can represent to the user. Like you can go back and forth. In case before creating a case, you want to collect some information from the user, from the customer. So what will happen? They will collect the information on the first page and go to second page. Click on next and add some information. If they want to make changes, they'll come back again using back button. So there is use of the screen flows. And shapes, you already know, like we have a lot of shapes, and we now much more efficient process modeler we have. In 6 version, before 6.2 version, we have like Visios, right? So now it's completely out of Visios and we can easily use it. And we are talking about work item, work object, or case, right? So what is that? There is a primary thing. That is a primary which we are working on the flows. Without work object, you are not going to traverse in the flow. So that is the one we are going to create, update, and finish it. That is resolve it. Any questions?
Karthik, work item is same as work object.
Yeah, work item, work object, case, all are same.
Okay.
So what is work list?
A list of work objects assigned to an operator.
Okay, the same way, if some case is assigned to you, Okay, that will be listing on your work list object. You can see from your case manager portal. So when you open a case manager model, it shows my work, right? What are the work you have performed and what is present on your work list right now. So whenever you are going to pull some info, that is some cases via GetNestWork, obviously it will come to your work list first. Correct? So anybody know about what is the class for work list and what is the table for work list?
Assigned as work list.
Yeah, that is for your class name, and the table name is like PC underscore assign underscore work list. For work basket is like a PC underscore assign underscore work basket.
Okay.
So work basket is nothing but it's a group of users can perform the task from the common pool. Mostly it will be defined on your work pool, work group and work pool. And also you can restrict the user not to access with the option of access deny, access when, and you can give what are the work basket user can access in your operator ID. You see here my list of work baskets. I can add a number of work baskets which I need to get access.
Okay.
So when we will go for work basket? Any idea?
Manager want to allocate work to any of its users.
That is a one option,
And more than one operator can operate on the object.
yeah, correct. So take an example. In case in my team I have a lot of back office user, and there are many users available in my team, and I can't assign to them individually. So what I do, I just move my work object, that is work item, to the work basket, and when the work basket have lot of many users have access on it. So what they will do, using GetNestWork, right? Using GetNestWork, they will bring out the cases which they are able to access with the help of work basket name and the skills. Okay, skill, we never talked about skill till now. So that is the different topic we'll talk. So whenever you are using GetNestWork, it pulls, right? There are two concepts you already know, push and pull, right? Remember?
No, Kate.
So push is nothing but
Yeah.
you are sending to some work basket or sending to some user with help of some logic. That is push.
Okay.
Pull is nothing but you are the user, you are going to pull some cases with respect to some additional details from a common work basket. GetNestWork is the pull. Got it? Or if you are clicking on GetNestWork, you are bringing values from the database and you are showing on the screen, what is the criteria, right? You are going to pull some information with the help of your operator ID record and the skills which is present on your operator. Anybody worked on skill based routing?
Yeah, Karthik, we worked on GMU, based on GMU.
Yeah, get next work, get most urgent, both are same, right? So in case if you want to bring the most urgent, that is different, right? When in case, take an example, backup user, they have many different kind of user, educational, and educational is different, personal is different, and legal is different, right? Take an example, if I want to access only educational, what I should do when I move the case to assignment, I should set the skill as a educational first, okay, and my back office user should have the same skill to pull out from the get network. That's why we have a skill option over here. See here, right? This is a predefined one. In case if you are creating anything, it should come over here.
Okay.
If I want to access only educational related background check, take an example. So I will have my operator ID should contain the work basket name and the skill of the particular cases. Then only I can pull from my get network. The skill is most important when you are going for the skill based routing. While routing, you should have the skills to associate to the work object. So when your assignment is getting created, hello?
Yeah, Karthik.
When your assignment is getting created, and when assignment is got created, what is the references to your case and assignment? Stop me if you are not understanding, okay? Because this is basic things which we want to discuss.
Initially, once the work object is created, it will be residing in the work basket, right?
Yes, Karthik.
It's not like that. Let me open one case type. See, till now we not configured anything on whether it has to go to work basket or work list, correct? In our system, the one which are working right now.
Yes, Karthik.
So this is my flow. So when my case got created, it comes to my contact list assignment. So what happens? My assignment is getting created at this part, okay. When my work object reaches this shape, my assignment page is getting created, and assignment page is depends on this parameter, routing parameter, whether it has to go to work list or whether it has to go to work baskets. So till now we use only current operator, right? So you need to have a functionality whether it has to go to any operator or it has to go to any work basket or your own custom code. Okay. So you people have seen router shapes, right? In before 6 version, right? There is no router shapes in 7. Even in 6.2 we don't have any router shapes. Got it?
Okay, sir.
So what are the keys of your assignment?
PX assigned to.
That is where it's moved. That is correct. PX assigned to is like to whom you are going to assign. That is correct. That is a key which you are going to pull out. But these are the two things is a key. What is the reference object key? Is like your work object key, and where exactly you are now flow name. So your assignment is always associated to your flows. Correct?
Yeah. Yes, got it.
And this is your work list. Work list record. I am showing the work list record of our system. So you see what is the application, and as you mentioned, who is the assigned operator ID. This is the operator ID which presents, and then related information of your organization division, and if you have any SLA, this will be present over here. All the informations. So the assignments contains what? Initial the routing, where it has to go, to which user it has to go, or which work basket it has to go, and SLA. You have to set in how much time this task has to be performed, and here you need to mention what is the RNS you are going to present to the user when user going to perform, and you want to set any work status during this point, and what are the local action available. In case if you want to notify anyone, you can have your notification activity. You have seen there is a shape called notify, right, in previous to 6.2 version.
Yeah.
So those things also has been removed. So now you can create your own notification rule and then provide the same assignment properties. You don't need to have any more extra shapes and tickets. This will be, I will talk later what is the use of these tickets, and you want to have any optimization property on this place. So these are the configuration you can make on this assignment details. So assignment is most important. Okay, so in case if you are setting properly, if you are writing a customization activity, whether you don't know whether it has to go to work basket, it has to go to work list. There is a such scenario you will get it, whether the case is going to work list or work basket. It depends upon some conditions while evaluation on the case. So you need to prepare your custom activity like that, custom router activity, to set whether it's a work basket or work list. Okay, there is one more point where if you are opening your case manager portal, I am seeing my work list, right? Can you tell me what exactly this one and which table it pulls out?
PC underscore assignment underscore work list, right?
Yeah, correct. So what it does, when I click on my work list, it brings out, it sends my assigned operator ID, that is my ID, px requested or user identifier, it sends to the database, and this report pulls out the information from PC underscore assign underscore work list. So it's not pulls out from your case table, work table, it pulls out from your assignment table. So it brings only few items. In case if you want, you can customize that rule and then brings more record over here. So before going to a flow, okay, there are some set of rules. We have to find out what exactly your flow should contain, right? So it's not like blindly go and create a flow. So in case if you are creating like that, in future it may be lot of changes and waste of time and waste of money. Waste of time for us and waste of money for the businesses. So we need to define our processes. It depends upon some question and answers. Okay. So take an example, you are sitting along with your business analyst and along with the line of businesses. You know what is line of business and business analyst, right? Hello?
Yeah, Karthik.
Yeah. Line of business who is a one going to work with the direct users and they are going to pull out the exact requirement and they will present to the business analyst. So you should have a interact with your business analyst or system analyst to ask what exactly I am going to perform. First question is like what exactly I am going to perform and what is the sequence of the task, right? So now we have plenty of steps. We can go forward and backward, right? Using the change stage options, you can go forward and come backward. So now we can have some sequence, but it's not 100% like 100% like applicable. In my 6.2 version, I am creating my flows. I don't have any steps, so I have to define a sequence. But here we can define the sequence and we can break the sequence. In 7 version, you can define the sequence and you can break the sequence. Okay.
Okay.
And what action will be performed when work object is assigned? This is also my other question, right? So if I'm assigned to a work list or work basket, what they are going to do? And is there any SLA present on that? Till what time they have to do, or I need to escalate to someone? And is there any automated? Take an example, if case goes to one workplace and user is not performed, so what we are going to do? And we have any decisions on the flows, whether it has to take this path and it has to take another path, depends upon the condition placed on the flows. So there are these are some set of questions we need to ask before defining your processes. It's not like directly go and implement your process. Have some questions because like when you implement your processes, I already talked about changing your assignment in production. Remember? Anybody remember on it? Okay.
No, Karthik.
So you have some existing work object present in a production system, and
Okay.
you got a requirement that I want to change this assignment. So will you do blindly? Will you change the assignment and send it to production?
No.
No.
Why?
No, Karthik. The already existing work objects will fail, right?
Yes. In case if you are changing and moving to production directly, the existing work object will be affected. Those things will called as a orphan assignments. Orphans. Anybody heard that word in production support?
No, Karthik.
Okay. Another scenario, you got a requirement to delete your operator ID from production. Will you do directly?
No, we have to check whether that operator ID work list contain any work objects or not.
Why? Because in case if operator doesn't exist, those assignments will be like orphan assignments, right? So these are the question and answer we need to ask whenever you are going to do some perform. So if you are deleting it, then that's all over. Until unless you are getting again same operator, you are not able to pull out, or else you need to do manual transfer. You need to open the record, that is by manually writing an activity and then move it to new user. So think these scenarios and also collect the input whether what the process exactly you are going to do in your flows. And as per our scenario document, I have told that educational, personal and immigration should run parallelly, right?
Yeah. Yes, Karthik.
So how this can be happen? This is not my individual work object. This all three are my same work object, right? This is my background check work object. It has to perform parallelly. So how I am going to do that? Take an example. This is my 3. I'm adding one more. I'll show with the 2. Okay. I'm opening my step behavior. Okay. So it's a single step assignment, and can you see here that start step? It's upon stage entry because this is my first step in this stage. By default it shows upon stage entry. If you see my second step, you see here, right? Upon stage entry or upon completion or skip of the previous step.
Yeah.
So what will happen until my first step doesn't complete or skip, this will not run. That is what the second option means. Until my previous steps, all my previous steps complete or skipped, depends upon the condition, then only it will run. In case if I choose this upon stage entry, see what happens to my stage. You see a blue line, right?
Yeah.
This blue line indicates it's a parallel processing.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to know understand more, go to here, Weave Legend. This legend shows all the things, right? This is primary stage and this is resolution. This is my alternate stage and this is my automatic transition and this is my manual transitions, and see this is my parallel steps. Got it? So what will happen when my contact details completes? It comes, it's split into 2 and then joins once this gets complete. These are all my individual assignments. User can perform what is called user can perform alternately, like parallelly also, because I have my optimized locking enabled, right? So whoever work first, those things will commit. So now you understood why optimized locking is so important, right? And this doesn't have any more customization. It has only one option in configuring in case type rule. You will have a big functionality to be implemented very easily. Like even though you have hundreds of cases in your parent, you can easily achieve this. Okay, this is the option which I want to show for your scenario. So here, this is what I mentioned upon stage entry. I have to, if I'm clicking this, my step 1 and step 2 will run parallelly. Step 3 will wait until step 1, step 2 completes. My step 1, step 2 will initiate automatically when case comes in on the stage. Okay. So you work on little bit on the terms, stage, step, flows, right? Stage contains many steps. Each step contains flows.
Okay.
And we are going to see one more tool which we haven't seen before. See, if you want to change anything on the flow, you'll go here and open, and you're editing over here, right?
Yeah.
This is the way you people are doing it right now, right?
Yes, cut.
So there is one more option we have here, configure process detail. Click. You see all my details will be coming over here, and when you are doing this, you will see only the particular stages. Take an example, if you are looking for primary stages, it shows only primary stage information, 1, 2, this is my next stage, right? Collect other info and then stage 3. And in case if I'm opening exception where is alternate path, it shows only alternate. If go here, I click back to stages, if I click on alternate stage, I see only alternate stage information. You see here, right?
Yeah.
So back to stages again. Click on configure process details. It shows my contact information first, and this is my flow, only one assignment, right? So that assignment information is displaying over here. In case, take an example, if I have multi-step assignment, let me change. Okay, let me tell you all this stuff. Okay, single step assignment will have only one assignment in your flow. Okay, stop me in case if you are not able to understand. Okay, and multi-step assignment process is like it contains more than one assignment, but initially what will happen, it will add only 2 assignments in your flows. If you want to make any more changes, you go further and do a, that is, go further and change the flow rule. So let me show over here. You see here, right, my 2 assignment got created on stage 3.
Oh.
So this you can't make any change. So from single to multi you can change, but from multi to single you can't make any changes over here. So I'm adding one more. So case, you are going to initiate a case, then you have to mention what is the case type rule. If you are going to create a top case here, you have to mention which case you are going to create, and if you are creating sub case, then you have to mention which sub case you are going to create, because these 3 is my sub case of onboarding. So I can mention over here, or create multiple sub cases means you should have like split, this kind of a split for each.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So what will happen in case if you are clicking over here and click OK, it adds shapes in your flow, and the flow contains the information you are giving over here. So anyway, we are going to see about smart shapes. Okay. During that time, I will explain what exactly this. When I click here, what will be reflecting over there. And approval. There are 2 kinds of approval. One is single and cascading. Single is nothing but it has to go to one level next. In case of cascading, it's like a level. The cascading you have to do like a reporting structure. Reporting structure is like on your operator ID, you have a reporter, right? Reports to, and it goes off with that option. In case if you have an authorized matrix, we have a matrix, then use a decision table and create a pages property. This is also continue in your smart shapes. Okay, so just understand single level approval or cascading approval. And this is for your attachments. In case if you are going to attach anything, you have option to have a smart shape called attach. So these are the options we have, and so it contains on your top you will have list of stages. On the navigation part, you have what are the assignments and what are the shapes present in your flows on each stage and each step. If you go to second stages, I have 2 assignment. There is 2 steps and 2 assignment, and here only there is 2 steps, right? Test and test 1. Test contain 2 assignments. You can click over here and edit, or else you can add a shape over here or remove shapes. You can do the same functionality what you are doing on the flow. This is the advantage of configure form, that is process detail. This entire process you are defining in a one place. If you are opening the flow, you should have opened one by one, right? So taking one second, let me create. See, previously you see this is my assignment list what? It has to go to my current operator and my default SLA and my assignment informations. If you want anything to be added and deleted to be here, you can add over this place. See here it shows it goes to connect to step 2, right? This flow is connect to steps 2. This one is connects to test 2 with help of test connector. And if you have any assignment, there is some connector should out of that assignment. You know, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And tell me, in case if I have one assignment and 3 connector coming out of assignment, and I am to show one as a default.
It depends on the depends on the highly likelihood.
Yeah, correct. So in case if most number of people are using that assignment, set the likelihood that is for the default that is default action which will be displayed when user clicks on the assignment link. So in case if you want to perform other actions, that is other connector actions, you have to go on action tab and choose the one. It depends upon your likelihood. So this is what I am describing over here. On the top you see outline displays all stages. The process outline works for either the primary or alternate stage, not for both. In case if you are clicking one, you see only on particular stage information, not the alternate one. On the left side, you are going to see as a tree view of your what are the steps and what are the shapes present associated with that stages. And on the right, that is on the work area, you are going to see all the shapes and information about assignments, utility, and actions, that is decisions, all the informations. And this is what I mentioned, like in case if you are clicking over here, you are going to see only stages of the particular primary or alternate. And they are grouping into few items as a flow basics, advanced, and smart shapes. Okay. If you go over here, you see assignment, decisions, subprocess, utility. This all called basics, and you have a smart shapes and advanced shapes. Okay. One of my requirements is it has to wait. Remember?
Yeah.
Here, after entering all this, the case should be pending and initiate the background check case. This is the one. So here you created a dependency, right? Initiation dependency. And after this, see, my back office user will select the agency, perform, personal, immigration, and educational, and all three processes should run parallel. This is the first. That is what I am telling about how we can run parallel now. And initiate admin services and user provisioning case on the background results are good. Okay, so I'm not telling anything that I want to bring back to onboarding, correct?
Okay.
So my relationship, if background checks fails, then I have to go back to onboarding case and route to the same user who worked with the proper state. That is, same user who worked with the proper status, it has to move on. Take an example in case my background check fails. I have mentioned like it has to go to educational, personal, and immigration, right? So
Yes.
Don't make more complex on the flow inside on your each and every step. Okay. If you are routing to one assignment, say it's approve or reject. That's enough. You are initiating your background check, correct?
Yes.
I'm telling the process. You are initiating your background check, and on the first screen you are selecting agency and what is the background check has to perform with respect to on that. Okay, so you have three informations: 1, 2, 3, educational, personal, and immigration. And when you are clicking submit, it goes to stage 2. Stage 2 will have 3 parallel processes running. Okay, so all 3 should go to individual users. Don't take same user, move it to individual users. And then click on the assignment link. Don't make any complexity. Do approve or reject. You should have only one option called approve or reject, and you take the information over there. And once all 3 process completes, you have to evaluate whether all 3 are approve or all 3 are reject, or the probability. If all 3 approved, you say it's approved and initiate your user provisioning and admin services and resolve your admin services, that is background check case. You got the process?
Yeah.
Yes. So your all 3 assignments runs parallelly, and all 3 done. You have to go to stage 3. Stage 3 you have to evaluate whether all 3 is good or all 3 is bad, and if it is good, say it's resolved completed, and then move forward with your admin services and user provisioning. Again you have a dependency created, right? And then if it is not good, say resolved rejected. If resolved rejected, what I should do, I should not initiate my admin services or user provisioning. I should go back to my onboarding case and say that it has been rejected. So till the time you have to wait, right? So we have an option called wait. So anyway, that will be covering on your next class. I'm just telling it's a wait. Wait shape we have. I'm just explaining the process. If background check fails, then update the onboard case. You have to go to parent and update and route to the same user who worked before with a proper status that pending, that is rejected, background rejected or something. Any questions on this till now?
No, Karthik, fine.
So you understood the process correctly, right? So in case any questions, I will explain one more time. And try to be using different operator ID. That will be helpful for your testing, and you can do easily. Okay, when you are routing your educational, personal, and other information, that is immigration, route it to different users, or have a work basket and create a different user. Add a skill. Anyway, we will go with the skills option, right? So that time I will tell you how to pull out using skills.
Okay.
Okay.
So these are different shapes, basic shapes. They call it as basic shapes. First one is assignment. You already know what is the purpose of the assignment. And second is automated decisions. It's called a decision shape. You can show your when rule using the fork and decision table, decision tree. So you can use whatever rule you want to get it done for the decisions. You can place it over here. The simple one is like a fork, right? If or else condition. Fork is like a if or else condition. And subprocess you already know it will initiate that. That is, you don't want to make complex on your same flows, so you are going to create one more flow. So all the flows will not be in your stage, correct? Take an example, you are creating a flow and you are representing as a subflow, okay? That will not be coming in your step. Got it?
Sorry, Karthik, want to come back now?
So you are creating a step and step contains flow, right?
Yes.
So the flow associated with your step. Take an example, if you are creating a subflow and you are adding to a shape, it will not be associated to a step. It's not associated as a step. It's an individually flow. Okay. If you want to associate, then you have to create a step and add your flow over there, and you have to use change stage.
Okay.
If you want to see all your flows in a step, I'm telling, if you want to see all your flows in a step, then you have to create a individual step and add your flows, and then you can see over in the entire process in the case type. In case if you are creating alone and then outside of your there is case type, it's not outside, it's inside only, but you're not able to see whether it's present in your case type or not. You have to go individually and see, open your flows and check your subprocess and open other flow. It's not associated with your case types. You can call it in anywhere, right?
Yes.
So it's not associated with your step. It's an individual flow if you are calling it a subprocess. And automatic system action, and also like start and end point. So tell me if anybody knows about this. When I am in a worklist or work baskets, okay, and after some particular time, if nobody perform, I have to move forward and say it's rejected. How you people will implement this?
Using SLAs.
Using SLAs or using agents. So what is the action you will perform?
We specify SLA at the assignment.
Oh, correct.
We can add activities at goal that the
Correct.
yeah.
I'm expecting it on terminology, one activity or one group. Anybody here like resume flow? Resume flow.
Yes, Karthik.
So what it happens, what it does when you do on SLA ends, that is SLA time triggers, your activity contains your resume flow, it just move forward from your assignment, right?
Yes.
But here we don't have resume flow, we have something called perform action. In Pega 7 we have a perform action, there is no resume flow. So this is the methodology how we are going to proceed forward with your assignment automatically. There is no manual user intervention. So you all know what are the information it contains, right? Each and every rule. You people already seen your assignments, right? There is no point of telling again. If I say work basket, I should use my work basket here. Okay. If I'm saying some operator, I can select the operator from here to which operator has to move. If I say custom, This is what you already seen this one, correct?
Yeah.
You already seen this one in your 6. version, dependency external work basket work list. So work basket work list we are focusing right now, and external is like what DWA concepts comes. Direct web access concepts comes for assign hyphen external. You see on my navigation side on App Explorer, assign hyphen external, right?
Yeah.
On my navigation rule App Explorer side, you see over
Yes,
here
yes.
assign external. So this comes only for DWA, direct web access. So here you have to choose whether work list or work basket, or write your own activity, and that activity type should be router. That activity type should be router. Okay, and your SLAs. If you have any specification for the requirement on this assignment, you can add it over here. And this is not part of SSA. It's most like of a business analyst kind of role. And again here your assignment details, whether you want to perform and you want to give any instruction or confirmation note. Here your work status, you want to update anything on the work status, and your local actions, your notification activity, if you have any tickets already mentioned. Okay. We'll go for next step, decision.
I think.
Yeah.
What is that connect option in the assignment?
You are going to connect, right? External system.
Yeah.
Your external connector activity.
Okay.
Here you can choose whether you want like a boolean, decision table, decision tree, fork and mapper. This is already existing. These two will be covering later. Okay. What is predictive and what is scorecard model? So we mostly use fork. That doesn't need anything on your inputs over here. You just directly connect to the rule over here, and then the output one should be if and other should be else. And here you should choose result. What is the result? You can set the result over here and place your likelihood on this. This is for the use of decisions. Subprocess. You see here a spin-off flow, right? Okay. The same thing which you are saying before, right? On current page, on specific work item, you have to mention what is a work item property and class. Or if you are seeing embedded page, you have to give the page this property and you have to give the flow name. This is exactly calling your subflows. And you all know about utility rule, right? Your activity type should be utility. And referring your any rule which you are calling here is most of like activity. We have a common activity called update status, right? You all seen before.
Yes.
Your activity is like utility. If you are not setting this as utility, it will not refer. That is, it will not come here properly. If I am clicking drop down, there is sponsor it. Only the activity like utility it will present over here. Okay, when you are using utility, make sure you should use like a parameterized. So we don't want to rewrite. That is, you want to create. Don't want to create so many activities for this purpose, utility purpose. Create a common. Utility means like creating a common thing and making reusing all the places. And these two is like a normal, and your flow should contain one starter, that is one start state, and will have many end state, right?
Yes, got it.
Okay. So and each and every connector you can call your set the property or use data transform conditions and set the stage also. There is work status also over here. Let me show you where we can set the work status. You can set the work status over here in steps. Okay, work status you don't need to worry about lot of things like update status you are doing, but that's okay. In case if you are updating anything on the between, you can set the work status in this rule also. In the connector rule also you have option called using the update status, right? PY status work equal to some values. You can do that. And we'll see the advanced option like smart shapes and what is the advanced shapes. This advanced shape is already covered in your. It's same like your previous 6.2 version or 5.4 version, but let me cover both smart shapes and advanced shapes. So right now you are clear about what exactly on the parallel processing and what we need to do for our scenario, right? Hello?
Yes, Karthik.
So any questions on this, like how we need to make it as a parallel processing and how we need to define our processes and what are the things we should consider before process starts, right? So if you're going and doing directly without collecting any requirement, like that will be a huge problem. You'll be end up with reworking more number of times. And again, when you're changing your assignments and here and there, it's not at all easy. Let me run one and I'll show you what are the things created in your clipboard. So now this is my one-off assignment, right? One-off assignment which is trying to get the input from the user. So what happens? It's assigned to my ID. It's assigned to me and it has a status of new. And let me see my clipboard. If you see my case content page, it tells about my assignment. This is PC underscore work list and see all the things and with where exactly I am on the flow key and what is my PCNS keys of the assignment and what is my ref object key. You see here, right? So these are the details, but This is like initially it will fetch up, but exactly where you are working is this page, Neosine page. This is the page you are working on right now, and it tells how many actions you have. Right now I have only one actions, right? That action is like a contacted agent actions. So this content page is predefined page which is brings out when case comes. When you are even review, right, on review mode you can see this page, but on click on assignment only your assignment page will prepare. This new assignment page, it gets prepared. So it tells about whether it's worklist or work basket, depends upon the from where you are bringing its work list, and it tells what are the actions available here, and it tells exact information about my action. This is my action name, this is my label. If I gave any instruction, those information details will be coming over here. Okay, see, this is mainly for your debugging purpose also, and you need to check exactly whether it's preparing properly or not. And let me go my web page. My web page contains flow, px flow, and flow tells about how I am navigating. Take an example, I am coming here flow path, right? So now there is only one flow path I crossed, right? Nothing I did. I just create, and I'm on the same screen, right? I'm just created and coming to one connector and came to this assignment. So I have only one flow path over here. So if you crossed many, then you can see the many flow paths, whether where its jump is true or false, or it processed or not, and tells about what is the assignment name. And if you are using any utility, it tells about utility. If it is decision, it tells about decisions. So this is one of the options. You can see how your work object traversed. Your work item, work object case, how it traversed, you can take this path. So if in case if many people are working in production support, you should have understand where exactly the case goes, right? So or else you have one option called this pay, another is like a traversing your audit trail, audit history, right? Many people uses the audit history, and if you want to go more granular level, you can go and see where exactly it has been bypassed or where exactly it takes some other path. Got it?
Yes.
And you can see your stages, okay, where it's all processed, and you can see your work parties. My default work party is owner, so owner is the one which is getting created, so I am the owner for this case. So these pages are all very important. You have to use work party page. I have said to route the same user, right? From where you are going to pick from your work party, right?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
So those options you have to look out how we are going to do that, right? So this week we just complete our what is called our background check flow. In this Friday we will complete our background flow. There is, you already know what is the first screen and what are the information we need to show. And second screen, like it just has to go to parallel assignments and user has to perform. And depend upon yes or no, your step 3, that is stage 3, should evaluate whether it has to initiate admin services and user provisioning or it has to go to onboarding. So in this week we just complete this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions, let me know. And Santosh and Shesha, I am working on the conversion, and I have 4 more recordings to be converted. I will upload in the Google Drive once it's done.
Okay, Karthik.